I love his quote. It's an untested faith does not mean that it's a strong one, simply that it might fall once it runs into its first obstacle. And I love that.
Welcome back to the Dairyland Duo. Today we have a guest I have not seen in 6 years. I went to basic training with this man. He was a combat engineer, and now are you a priest, like a full priest now?
No, so it's not priest in the UCC. It's we can probably talk about that in a little bit. Yeah. Just licensed pastor. Let's go with that.
But
do you do weddings then?
So I think in Wisconsin I can. Mm-hmm. I'm just I haven't had to yet, so I haven't looked up the laws.
Oh, yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll make my seat go up real quick.
That'd be a good little gig to do too, just weddings and.
$20 on there. You go.
Did you say his name, man?
Yeah. Wait, no. Did I say your name? No. Oh. So I know him as Williams. Yeah. Because that's the only thing I've ever called you. But
yeah. What's your first? Noah.
Yeah. Yours is Uriah, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Uriah. Uriah Williams, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. It's my first time meeting him. Seems pretty nice.
Well, thank you, Troy. You seem pretty nice too.
Thanks.
He was the kid that in basic, I was like, hey man, give me a Bible verse today. I need something for today.
Yeah.
Pull him out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. So we'll get some topics in.
Yeah. So after I met you, right? I think you went out to Cali.
Yeah.
What was that like? What did you do out there?
Did you ever make it out to NTC?
I didn't go to NTC.
Did you go to 29? Oh, you went to Riley? I thought I saw pictures of you out in the desert. But
no, there was that was down in Yuma, Arizona. We did training.
Oh yeah. So I went to Fort Irwin, the National Training Center. I was with the 11th ACR. It was only one combat engineer company for the whole regiment. Basically at NTC, right, the job is to get units ready who are about to deploy. Obviously,
think of really big laser tag.
Yes, it's essentially what it is. It's like,
hey, come in.
Regiment on regiment force size. So we're talking 1,500.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Holy.
And then you bring in foreign militaries too.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're
I got to work with people from Japan, from Britain, from I think we had South Korea there at one point too.
Yeah. All of our allies will
I'll say you're not
they'll come through.
North Korea pull
up.
No,
we don't.
China.
When I was overseas, I worked with Swedish, Polish, Romanians, everybody.
Yeah. That'd be sick. Wait, so you got what's the purpose? It's training? Or?
Yeah. So it's very. I never went to Iraq, Afghanistan, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm told is that the terrain is very similar. So it was a really good location for us to train at. I believe Fort Irwin started in the World War II era, and they would have their tanks trained there before going to Africa, the African theater, where the Sahara would be. So that kind of deserty. It's right in the Mojave Desert. So you got your mountains, you got your low valleys, you got all sorts of stuff. It's just a whole different terrain than Wisconsin to train at. So
dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and because units do come here to McCoy for the same thing,
right?
And then we also have one other one which is kind of a jungle terrain, I guess, or a marshy. It's
swamp.
JRTC, swamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not jungle. That'd be Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did that. I did 2 years in our recon platoon for the company. We didn't have some companies still do tryouts for recon, right? We didn't do that. I just showed up and went to 3rd platoon, and that was the recon platoon. So I didn't really do a combat engineering job for 2 years. I was basically doing a Cav Scout job, which was cool. I loved it, really did. And then for my last year, I ended up in headquarters for the company, and that was a whole. I think I told Noah.
Headquarters is one of the worst things you can put in. Especially as our job, because it's literally just bitch work.
Oh, it really? Is, yeah. And so I was in charge of I basically did the HR work. I was in charge of the training office.
That's what I did my first 2 years before I became a dog handler, because I went from where we went to basic 35th to 31st.
Right.
And I worked in the S3 shop.
Yeah. See, I would have been in what our company equivalent to S1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
And you're out of the military now?
Kind of. So it's 8-year contracts.
So I have less because I re-enlisted, so it took time off mine, so I'm not in anymore. So,
okay. Yeah. You're out.
Yeah.
I got about another year of the inactive ready reserves, which all that means is once or twice a year I get a letter in the mail. I have to go down to Nina, which is about an hour from me, check in with my career counselor. I think she's supposed to try to get me to come back in, but she's pretty chill, and I get paid to do it. So I take 3 hours out of my day and I get $150 or whatever, and
keep in mind, if you don't go, nothing happens. So, it's not like you're AWOL.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So they're come looking for you.
Yeah. Because
they'll send you some angry texts, but I mean,
you should have came in. So it's no.
Yeah.
So you just have one more year of that?
I think so. I think it'd be 2024 is when my So what we got in 2017,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
Those guys are convincing too. When I was trying to
bet.
get out, you have to see one before you get out, and he had me rethinking my whole life.
Exactly.
They're like the best salespeople they can get.
No, for real.
Honestly, yeah. Like the first time I went to one, it was like, and they strategically like time it out, right? I've noticed this, but so like they got my best friend from Fort Irwin. He got into the reserves after he went to go meet with his career counselor, reclassed to fueler, and so,
You see that all the time. People reclass.
Yeah.
In our job, 12 Bravo, like so many people just reclass instead of getting out because our job's so shitty.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, they wait till you're like 3 months out, so they know that like you felt some bills now. You know you're really feeling it. Like you're missing your buddies, you're missing your family. Really, is what it was. And well, then you get the opportunity to get back in. You know, it's like somebody trying to get clean from drugs.
It's like, well, here's a little heroin.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just a little taste, you know.
Right.
They'll keep your head straight for a little while.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what it'd be like too. If I were to get all my shit and go back and go to fucking Fort Drum, New York right now, I'd be good for about 3 weeks, and then I'd be like, "What the fuck did I do?"
Exactly.
Rethinking it all.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Are you then like him in the same boat where it's like, I'm happy to be out?
Yeah. So like, I was just talking with a buddy from my company last week or so. He was just missing people, so he made the rounds. You know, every now and then. I do it too. I don't know if you do.
I've been having to do it a lot this last week.
Yeah.
I was down bad.
You make the rounds. You call the people that you trust. You know, and on those weeks it's rough. But then like as you start reminiscing, you start kind of remember all the crappy stuff too. Mm-hmm. By the end of the conversation, you kind of get reminded of why you got out.
Yeah.
You know, so I owe a lot to my life now that I got out. I would not be where I am now if I had stayed in, re-enlisted or anything. So
is there a reason you got out, or is it?
Yeah, a compound of reasons, right? Because like, I thought I was gonna do 20 years, right? Like,
Really?
I was prepped and ready.
That's how I was too.
Yeah.
You know,
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's like all you want to do for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was, right, is I went to BLC late 2019, the NCO course to become a sergeant. Came back from that, got off the bus, and I was already in headquarters by that point. And I remember Sergeant Jones coming up to me, and he was like a buddy because I was about to be an NCO, you know. And he was like, "Hey, did you hear what your soldier did?" I was like, "What?" "No, I didn't. They haven't sent me anything." And she's like, "She reported first sergeant to IG." And sure enough, she had. And so that like event spiraled because my office, you know, worked heavily with first sergeant, and he knew that complaint had come out of our office. So that really got my mental health down during that point. Then COVID hits in March of 2020, and everything that went on in the military during that time just really reminded me of why it wasn't a people first organization like it wanted to be, like it says that it was.
Like it should be.
Right.
Well, and they're trying to change it, but they're making it worse. Is the problem?
They try to do trickle down economics, right? Where like if we just train the right leaders in the right places, it'll trickle down through our things, through our ranks. And I don't think it works. I really don't.
No, it doesn't.
Because by the time I became an NCO, like I was so just tired already, and just like I've been brought up one way. It was really hard for me to let go of some of the things that I learned already. Mm-hmm. So really, I think you need to start with the privates. Start down there with some of this training that they're trying to do for higher ups now. But anyways, so that compounded event with COVID and the case that was happening, and then missing my family, and I had I was previously engaged before I met my now wife, and that relationship kind of failed because of the Army, because of that long distance, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those
I remember that too, because you were engaged in basic, weren't you?
No. Who was? Somebody was, and they got that.
Somebody got the Jody letter that was engaged.
Oh, no.
Who was it?
Dude, I don't remember. That was so long ago. It was in our platoon though.
It was, because we blew it up.
Was it Reams?
Was it Reams?
Yeah.
I think
it
you're.
was. Yeah.
God, I can picture his face right now.
Yeah.
That's gotta be so hard, like being like so far away and like not knowing what your significant other's doing.
Yeah.
There's so many stories of like the Jodies, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'd be going crazy.
Literally,
Yeah.
I went on leave for a week. Like I was already active, like past basic and everything. I went on leave for a week. I got back and my buddy Littlefield sent me a message. He goes, "Isn't this your girl?" And it was a screenshot of her on Tinder. I was like, Nope.
Yeah, it's just like, what do you do? At that point, it's like kind of like screw them though.
I mean, I called her. I fucking said my fucking 2 cents, and then
Yeah,
it's
it's
done
like
with it.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's like they're not the one anyway. So
Yeah.
Still, it kind of sucks though.
Yeah. But yeah, so all that kind of compounded, and I got out in late 2020, and
Been good since.
yeah, life kind of just happened from there.
So when did you like kind of hunker down and start doing all of your religious like certifications or anything that you needed?
So I had a recruiter, right? Sergeant Cook. He's now out too. It's really cool. Like I love messaging him and stuff. But whatchamacallit, he looked at us one day. I was in the Future Soldier Training Program, which was like this. I mean, it taught me a lot of stuff before basic. It wasn't really worth anything. Like I didn't get promotion.
There's nothing.
It was fun. Like it was something good for me to do because like. You know, I was in small town Iowa. I was the only one at that time joining the military as I graduated from my class. Wow. Yeah, I was the class of '63.
Oh wow!
Since then,
small town Iowa.
Yeah,
I mean that just proves the numbers like less than 1% of people join the military.
And now it's more like now my class has had like 10 of us serve, so like we're getting up there. But anyways, Sergeant Cook looked at us and he's like, "How many of you are planning on going to college while you're in?" Like I raised my hand because I was, and he said, "None of you are going to." And I took that as a challenge. And so, like, March of 2018 then. So I took a little bit of time after we graduated in October of 2017. Took a little bit of time, and then I started my bachelor degree work while I was still in. Graduated. So that would be the start of my, like, prep for this stuff. Graduated with my bachelor's in November of 2020, shortly after I got out. Started my master's in January 2021, and fingers crossed I'll be done December 9th of this year with my master's degree.
Congrats.
Damn.
So,
what's your major?
So my undergrad major was Christian Studies with an emphasis in philosophy, and then my it's a Master's of Divinity is what it's called, which sounds really,
crazy,
doesn't it? I don't know how I feel about that wording. And then it's in United Church of Christ Studies because that's the denomination that I'm a part of.
Awesome.
This man drops gold loot.
I know it sounds like so like holier than thou, you know? Like yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've always been Christian?
Yeah, so my dad's also a pastor. I was born actually in Wisconsin, up in Merrill.
Oh, cool.
I actually don't think I've ever heard of that town.
You ever heard of Merrill?
It's north of Wausau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like a smaller little town.
Yeah, about 10,000. My dad tells stories about when it was 15,000, but I know it's not 15,000 anymore, so it's smaller than that.
It got smaller.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
why is everybody moving out of there?
So like,
what's happening there?
Yeah. So like he right, my first memories are in Maine because that's where my dad went to seminary, and like back in the day, online, I've done all my stuff online, all my schooling. Back in the day, that wasn't an option, so we went out to Maine, and when I was about 2 years old. So my first memories are, some of them are at the seminary, like, because we lived in the apartments there, and then we lived in Nebraska for about 3 years. After that, Iowa for 8 years, and then did our time in Missouri and California for 3 years, and now I'm back in Wisconsin.
Dang,
so
just traveling.
Yeah.
You plan on staying?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of being all over the place. I want roots,
I moved 6 or 7 different times in the 6 years I was at Missouri.
Right.
Yeah, whether it was from different barracks rooms to different houses when I was with Cheyenne, but
yeah,
that was.
Yeah, I think 7 was my number too, because like we had black mold in our barracks, so they had to kick us out for a while too, put us back in.
Because when I moved from Tradoc, obviously I had to move different barracks, whatever. But like my first barracks, there was something wrong with like in the walls, and then my second one I got back and it was just leaking from the ceiling one day.
Yeah.
And like the third one was, they didn't like that I didn't have a roommate, so they moved me.
Yeah.
Just moving all over the place. Yeah, I was telling him I actually plan on moving down to Texas in the next couple of years and just doing my business there.
Yeah, I'm about to move with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
I'm dead ass. Like my buddy lives down there too.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot, like, I know a lot of people that like recently moved down to Texas and just they got like a little bit better of like a small economy, like as the state. Really good economy,
Good food.
Good food.
Really good food there.
Good weather.
Oh yeah, dude, all the Hispanic food I can want.
Oh yeah,
dude. Going down to Yuma was my favorite because that was authentic.
Yeah.
Straight by the border.
You know, like a food truck's can be good, right? When like you have to order in Spanish.
Yeah,
like,
that's when it's the best.
You're like, dude, I took Spanish in high school.
Yeah, I like was ordering because we have food trucks come on base a lot of times, and like I was trying to make it sound all like authentic Spanish just to like see if I could still do it. And a Latina soldier behind me just started laughing at me because I was butchering it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Rado is like listening to me speak Spanish because it's so busted to him. So.
Yeah.
You just try your best.
But fucking, oh, man, that was so long ago. Did you? So, I was gonna ask you. Yeah. So I had like Stein and a few other people come with me to Leonardwood. Did you keep in contact with anybody from basic?
Yeah. So actually, there was quite a few. What was it? 6 of us ended up going to Irwin. All of us all together. So it was from our platoon, Thurber and Sloan, both came with me. Or I guess they got there first because I took leave right after basic. They got there first, then I showed up to the company. Then Lay from 2nd platoon, if you remember him.
I don't remember him now.
Well, he's at West. I think he's at West Point now. That's where I last saw him or knew he went to. And then Hernandez, Cody from 2nd platoon also came with. So.
Did you like hang out and talk with him and stuff? Cause Stein literally deployed like a few weeks after we got out of basic, and then fucking Martinez got kicked out, and then it's just like everybody else that I went to basic with, just like we just kind of stopped hanging out. So. Yeah. No, Burns literally got investigated by CID.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not.
What's the CID?
Criminal Investigation Department.
Yeah,
it's like the NCIS of.
That's like the Army. People that are trying to like catch people doing acid or like the prostitution rings and shit. So this dude literally like was beating his pregnant wife and shit. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a rough one.
I got a random phone call one day. When I was at the kennels, and they're like, "Is this Sergeant Noah Whitaker?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you know Malachi Burns?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, do I? Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Crazy stuff happens there, man. It really does. Like, I was like. First year there, the like cocaine ringleader for Fort Irwin was in my platoon, and so I got questioned by CID because I drove his team leader who had already been drinking. I was just DDing. I got like interrogated. So it's a wild place.
You'd be surprised how many drugs and like other just random things happen in the military.
Yeah,
like literally was Nebecker in our company.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
No, he was because he was Nebecker. He was like really skinny, tall dude, like whatever. But
is he the firefighter?
He might have been. But right before they left for deployment, they found like a pound of weed in his bathtub in his barracks room.
Yeah,
like pound, dude. And keep in mind, like your bathroom in Missouri is like it's just shared with one other person,
right?
So like the other person probably walked in there and was like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, to your question, Thurber and Sloan and I and Hernandez, we were all still really close. Thurber actually for a while, he got out shortly after I did. He and I met up a couple of times because like we were only an hour and a half, 2 hours apart at that point.
Because you were in Minnesota for a little while, weren't you?
Right on the border. So River Falls is where I was, and that's like 30 minutes away from the cities. So. Yeah, I really don't know what I would have done if they wouldn't have come with too, because like it just gave a basis of people you already knew coming into this company that was already existing before you, you know.
So I guess now are you full time? What's the
pastor?
Pastor. Okay, I want to say priest. He keeps saying.
I keep saying priest.
He kept telling me, like, I got priest coming. And then he said pastor. So.
Yeah.
I'm not very like when I talk about shit really fast and I get excited. I do not say right terms.
So you're a full time pastor?
No, so I do full time studies. So I'm a full time student right now. So I worked it out with my church that I'm 3/4 time there, which means that I keep an hour log and I really hold them to 30 to 35 hours a week. That's what my contract is. And then, in theory, then the other 30 hours in a week, I guess, is what I do for school. So it's basically full time.
Yeah.
Just like missing 5 hours worth, you know?
Do you do sermons and all that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big part of the job.
I think I've seen you live stream one at one point.
Yeah. I almost shared, like, so it's weird, right? Because you write them so often, like, you have some that you're more proud of than others. And like 2 weeks ago, I felt like I gave a really good one. Like I felt it like in my soul. Like I was passionate during it. Not always passionate every Sunday. And I almost shared it to my personal page. I still might.
You should.
I should.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things is like if you're on the edge of sharing something, do it because like
why not? At the end of the day, it's like even if it's the worst thing ever, like who really
right.
It's who cares, and then there's gonna be people too who are supporting you either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So. But right now it's Holy Week, so Easter's coming up. Yep. So that's part of the reason why I've been really busy this week. That's part of the reason I haven't shared it yet, because I know there's gonna be like comments and feedback, and I want to respond to those. And I wouldn't have the time this week to give it the attention that it needs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be then having sermons on Easter and Friday? Right, it's Good Friday.
So Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So it's Monday, Thursday, and then Good Friday, and then we do 2 services at my church: 6:30 a.m. and at 9 o'clock for Easter. We don't normally do 6:30.
So that was super early.
Yeah, 9 o'clock's early enough.
It's like all the really old people that come in.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sunrise service, you never like. A lot of people are really tied. Like they have good memories from being a child and going to sunrise service with like their grandparents or something. And so you'd be surprised at the younger families you get that come in for that morning one. Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely see that though.
Yeah.
Just what church is this?
So it's Peace United Church of Christ, Shawano. We just did our 120th celebration. So I wore my polo because it looks nicer than the hoodie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's in Shawano, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Pronounced Shawano if you're from anywhere else.
Shawano.
Yeah. It's actually, I did some research recently. So like the Menominee Reservation is just north of us. Shawano is actually a Menominee and Chippewa, I believe, word, which means southern border or to the south of. And so it was the southern border between the Menominee and the Chippewa.
Yep, I was actually just up there this summer at the powwow. Yeah. Shawano's actually kind of cool.
It's really going places. Yeah. It's really...
I think I've only ever been through it. I've never stopped.
They got some like good, like... I'm trying to think of some diner names. There's a really good diner I stopped at. Really
Shawano Cafe is there.
It might have been that.
Yeah. Like mom and pop ones too.
Yeah, just like low-key. But they were like so good. And they were busy too. Like everyone was there.
Tourism is the largest industry in Shawano because we have Shawano Lake. It's a really big lake there.
Let's put that on my bucket list because I plan on going around Wisconsin this summer and just like camping, kayaking.
Come on up. We got a guest
room. Come to the powwow with us.
I'm down.
It's cool. I have a friend who's native, so she likes to go up every year, and she invited us. And we played bingo at the casino and stuff. I won like a bunch of money.
For real?
I won like $400.
Bingo's a big deal up there. Yeah.
When you said that shit, I was like picturing like doing traditional dances and stuff outside. Like
I was so hyped that every bingo, I'll be stand up like bingo. Like, no, you don't have to do that. I'll just get so hyped.
Like flipping the card.
But yeah, that's a really nice area. Like I never realized like how beautiful Wisconsin actually is.
Yeah.
Like, our area where we're at is like not even close. Like up north, like it's so nice.
See, like, all right. So where do you draw the line for up north, right? Because like
past like when you get towards like Oshkosh or Green Bay.
I say when you hit Toma, that's like up north.
Toma's up.
Otoma?
Yeah.
Toma's up there.
See, I don't know if I know where Otoma is, but like. See, for me, Shawano was up north, right? Which is north of the line that you just drew.
Yeah.
And, like, I still, like, congregants who are like, yeah, we're going to our cabin up north this weekend. Like, where is, like, how far north do you get?
We used to drive 5 hours up north to my grandparents' house, and that's, like, up north Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's close to the UP, honestly.
Is it?
Oh,
Do you know where Spooner is?
The name is familiar. My father-in-law would know.
I was going to say, that's where they lived.
Okay. I just went to Eagle River for the first time.
It's farther than Eagle River.
Okay.
It's farther than Eagle River. I remember
Eagle River's north. Like
we went up there for in middle school. They had it's called Treats for Tomorrow. It's like a program that they do up there.
That's where we went.
Yeah, it was Eagle River.
I didn't know where we were.
They just took us in a bus and drove 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Eagle River,
Yeah,
and like we did a bunch of like outdoor naturey stuff. It was really cool.
I'm pretty sure I slept the whole bus ride, or I was being fucking like taunted by Alex Garble
the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We all were on like Picto Chat and stuff on our DS.
Oh, bro, we were all in the
Mario Kart.
cabins.
Like, dude, we had
Yep.
Bro, we'd be in like different little like areas, just like, oh, dude, who's connected to the Mario Kart?
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
You guys remember like when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out for the DS?
Oh yeah,
bro, that was a big
we had
thing.
A few of us playing that on the bus one time.
Yep.
I remember that.
Dude, that was so bad too, though. Like
it was going back and looking at it. Yeah,
bad.
it's a good like car ride thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like, pass the time.
That's what the DS was made for.
Yeah, I remember I used to like on those long car rides with my grandparents' house. I'd just be on Picto Chat, hoping somebody in like a car next to me was on it too.
What's up?
I hit somebody one time and like they joined, all of a sudden they left because like we were trialing different speeds.
They need to make like a Picto Chat a thing again, where you could. It's just it was so great.
Dude, no, they need to bring back Flipnote.
Flipnote was awesome.
I don't remember.
That was on the DSi. It was just like really like, you know how like you make flip notes and you can like whatever this motion is.
Oh, the sticky notes.
Yeah, like makes art.
Oh, okay.
It was that, but digital.
Yeah, so
interesting.
You could draw like different things. People made like crazy stuff.
Dude, the stick figure, the Sensei hat. There's Sensei.
Yeah,
Sensei.
Sensei. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff on there.
Dude, yeah. It was like that Kanye West song or whatever too.
Yeah.
What's the song called? Power?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just remember that. Did you guys ever play Saints Row?
Yeah.
Saints Row the third. You're jumping out of a helicopter and taking over the penthouse, and Power's playing in the background.
Yeah.
Such a good use of that song. Like, it just, that moment sticks out in my mind from my gaming history.
Old video games are the best.
Yeah. They remastered it. Saints Row the third. I was playing through it the other day. Yeah.
I didn't know they remastered.
I know they just came out with a new one, but
I didn't. Good. No, I didn't hear good reviews on that one.
Yeah, didn't even check it out.
I don't know why that's so funny to me that like anytime I like hear any of my religious friends playing games like Saints Row, like it just makes me fucking smile.
I don't know. So like I was like thinking a lot in the car ride down here, you know, and like because I remember that that discussion coming up frequently in basic, right? Because like I'm trying not to swear right now, just in case you're watching this. Like, why isn't he swearing? I'm trying not to because I think I'm going to share this to my page, and I don't want anybody to be like, you know, any of my congregants to be like, oh,
yeah, well, what's going on?
Pastor swears, but
Yeah.
which like some of them know, but whatchamacallit, I don't know. I feel like so many times throughout history, we've looked at like pastors and priests as like these big holy figures, right? At the end of it, and sometimes that's been intentionally done by the church, but like my philosophy is like I'm human, you know, like I've got a past, I've got, you know, things that I've done in my life, I've got my own vices that I work through. Like, why not just be who I am and just like let that inform my ministry, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's
not try to be something I'm not, because I do. I still play. What was I playing? I was Crusader Kings 3. I'm down to like a lot of computer games now, solo like single player games because I'm not good anymore. I don't like getting on Call of Duty anymore and like just being destroyed. Just not for me. But
yeah, it just got too boring for me. Like single player games, I just like the story.
Yeah. I'm really like pumped. The Last of Us just came to Steam. Really pumped it. Yeah,
first one.
I just
Part
saw
one.
that.
Did you watch the show?
No, and so but like I've seen like clips, you know, and so like I
You
didn't
gotta
realize
watch
what
it.
the story was.
I didn't finish it yet.
Dude,
This
great
is like
show.
the slowest I've ever been watching a show.
Dude, I watch it every single time it drops. It's like certain shows, like South Park comes out every Thursday. I watch South Park every Thursday.
Dude,
That's how I am with The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Dude,
That's
I
good.
still need to catch up on that too.
It's worth it. This is
Dude, I'm
new
episode
season's
2
good.
of Mandalorian.
I would say like
man.
the last episode was so good.
It was.
So
it
good.
was.
Dude, you gotta get on that, man.
You know what
Yeah.
I don't understand though? Why they called that Boba series Boba? It was just Mandalorian
Yeah.
part 2.
It was funny. It was sad because the Boba parts were kind of lame, but when the Mando episode was like way better than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
No, Mando, dude, the new season's good.
It is.
Apparently he's never showing his face again.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I saw
I have a
an
lot of
article on it.
theories.
Well, I know there's like behind the scenes beef with Pedro because he wanted it. He wants to not wear the helmet.
Right.
And they want him to. So there's a lot of like issues behind the scenes. I've heard half the time he's not even in the suit. It's just his voice.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even like.
They hired a
say-
different,
I don't
like,
know why
actor.
he wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
in a suit. I think him being fully suited is like a lot cooler. Like we all
It's
know
cool.
who he is.
I just
think
feel
it's-
like it'd be.
Part of it could be an ego thing.
No, I 100% think that's
Yeah,
what it is.
he's like, I want to be on the big screen, which he is on like Game of Thrones. He was
Yeah.
awesome in The Last of Us. He was awesome in. I get it.
What's that? I haven't seen that movie. That current like Facebook reel template is on, or TikTok template of it's him and Nicolas Cage. Something about like Hollywood, I think, or
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know that one.
but no, like I'm really curious with this season, like because like there's so much culturally going on with the Mandalorians. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the whole Hamlet thing. But
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Like this week or tonight, the next episode.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I literally stay up every week and watch
Yeah,
it.
you are
Yeah.
gonna be ready tonight.
Yeah, I'm very ready. Mandalorian's awesome.
yeah,
You'd be chilling with Eric.
Yep. Yeah.
Fucking-
Ooh, and sorry, I want to get into some religious stuff
Yeah.
because I am Christian and like I feel like I'm not like you know they like frame Christians as either like the diehards and then there's like
Yeah.
I'm like kind of like
the normal.
I mean, I
yeah
tell people I'm agnostic because like I don't like shit on that like Christianity or anything. Like
Yeah.
there's things I think would be cool to believe in, but I don't necessarily believe it. So
Yeah.
Well-
That's like what you're saying, Troy. That's like a lot of the majority, I'd say, of Christians.
Yeah.
You know?
like I believe in I've been baptized all that I don't
you're not
Yeah.
a radical.
I'm not radical. I
Right.
think anything can be radicalized.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But recently I've been like getting really back into it.
Yeah.
And like reading the Bible and everything. And like I've been really into like Revelations and like the rapture. I kind of want to
Yeah.
hear what you guys say. Because I've seen so many TikToks of like people talking about like the rapture and like, so I kind of just want to hear you talk about
Yeah.
it.
So I'll be honest. Revelation is one of those books that like I don't touch usually
Oh, really?
because it's got so many. it's got a lot of baggage with it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's got a lot of different interpretations. That being said, like in my Hebrew Bible class, my Old Testament class, we just talked about apocalyptic literature because that's very common in the Old Testament. It's apocalyptic prophets.
Yep.
And so that's really what Revelation still is an apocalyptic literature.
Yep.
So what my professor was saying is, when we read that kind of stuff, we got to remember the context that it's in. So like when the author of Revelations wrote it, they probably weren't thinking that the human race was going to last until 2023, right? For them, they were a prophet, so they were probably going to say, oh, well, it's going to end 10 years from now or whatever. Like, they thought that end times was very prominent. Right. Yeah. Now, I don't remember too much about Revelations, but for the other prophetic literature in the Hebrew Bible, and we call it the Hebrew Bible because it's trying to recognize that Judaism, Jewish people also use it.
Yep, they believe in the Old Testament. Yeah.
Right. So, and it was theirs first.
Yeah.
We kind of appropriated it and then called it the Old Testament, even though another religion still uses it.
Doesn't what's the other religion? Muslims. Aren't they
Islam.
Like, sort of like the Old Testament-y?
They all are like, if I'm not wrong, they're all essentially believing the same thing. They just have different prophets. Is essentially
well, Judaism
like the
believes Jesus was a prophet but isn't the son of God, and then Islam believes Muhammad was.
And that depends on which sect of Judaism too.
True, yeah.
But anyway, they all believe in the God of Abraham. So Yahweh would still be the same, to my understanding, as best as I know. I'm not as well versed in Islam as I am Judaism and Christianity, but. So the point about Revelations and apocalyptic literature is really it was meant to be a call to change, right? Of this is going to happen if you don't repent and do a difference, make a difference in your life right now. But a lot of times we take Revelations literally, and so then everybody starts looking for like, oh, well, what if, Trump was this? Or
the Mark of the Beast. And
right.
All that.
It's
I heard interesting stuff.
I had a lady, I was drinking a Monster. I don't drink them as much as I used to in the Army. But I was drinking a Monster the other day, and somebody had told her at one point that the Monster symbol was the Mark of the Beast. And so she was like, what are you doing? Like, she was like really freaked out about it, But if we start looking for that kind of stuff, I don't know. I don't know if we're missing the point of it, because like, unless it's causing you to make a change in your life that's meaningful, more towards a Christ-like life,
I think it has, really, for me.
Yeah?
Like, as of recent, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like crazy. Do you know anything about like Revelations and like the rapture?
No. Well, obviously I know a little bit about like the rapture and stuff, but I'm not one of those people that like read through a lot of the Bible or anything like that. I've taken a world studies class and know like the general of like every religion.
Right.
But I don't know like deep into them.
Right. That's how I feel. I took a world religions class in my undergrad. I took another one at the master's level, and like I know a little bit. I know enough to know that I don't know a lot.
I think the one I know most of is honestly Buddhism, because I believe that Buddhism, controversial. I don't really think it's more of a religion. I think it's more of a philosophy.
So, it's more philosophical, like a way of living, rather than like a belief in
like
afterlife.
And don't get me wrong, the monks obviously like that's a religious practice, like with what they do, and I don't want to discredit any of that. And I think I'm just so infatuated with their beliefs and how they like actually go about their lives that like I've researched it a lot and like what their mentality is on things. So I think that's what drew me to that one so much versus like, oh, I'm gonna go read the Bible.
Right.
So
do you ever hear about Taoism? Have you ever studied that?
Oh,
yeah. That one has been really influential for me. I just read a book this semester called "Without Buddha, I Could Not Be a Christian" by Paul Knitter. He works a lot on pluralism. So how do we recognize that each religion has value in the world, and to not be the term be exclusivist, where a lot of Christians believe that there's only one true way to salvation, right? And if you're not on that path, well, then you're going to hell.
That's kind of what I believe.
Yeah. So there's like three different theologies of religions. There's exclusivism, inclusivism, and pluralism. So exclusivism would be that one. If you don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell. You're not going to be saved. And that could be in any religion, not just Christianity. Inclusivism would be, well, there's merit to what you have. Like, for example, you can reach moksha, you can reach liberation in Buddhism, but you're really doing that, kind of through Christ, because Christ already did this. And then there's pluralism, which believes that, well, your moksha, your liberation through Buddhism, is just as valued and just as important as my salvation through Christ. Recognizing the validity of it and not trying to say you need to be Christian to get this too. The seminary I go to is really trying to be more pluralistic, and so that's one of the reasons why I read Paul Knitter. Really good book, highly recommend it. If it's a little academic-y, so just be prepared for big words and stuff. But really interesting because he did. So it's about 7 years for me to become a pastor, right, in the United Church of Christ. He was a Catholic priest, and it was 14 years of prep work in order to be ordained and be a priest. Then I think he was only a priest for 5 to 7 years, and then he realized that chastity was not for him, and he wanted to get married. And so he left he was no longer a priest, got married, and went on to become a teacher and professor and really explored his Buddhism during that time as he was kind of having that midlife, what do I believe crisis, and came out of it stronger in his Christian faith because of it, which I think is really, that's been my experience. So, we worked with guys of all different religions. Do you remember Shakya?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have really great nights. I would stay up with him for an hour or two after lights out. We'd just be talking about, because he was Buddhist. Buddhist or Hindu?
I think he was Tibetan something.
Buddhism.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel like my faith was really strengthened because of the conversations I had with Shakya and other religious leaders. And
that dude was so wild. He was 35. He literally had his master's, was a banker in Nepal, and I asked him one day, I was like,
he's a banker in New York again too.
Yeah, in New York. And I asked him one day, I was like, why did you join the army? It seems like you had your life stuff set up. He goes, I just got bored and wanted to change. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes, though.
People. Yeah.
And it's always good to have new skills or learn different ways of life.
Yeah.
Rather than the same thing.
Right. The professor at my seminary who's in charge of the philosophy side, I love his. They all do the quotes in the emails and stuff, and I love his quote. It's an untested faith does not mean that it's a strong one. Simply that it might fall once it runs into its first obstacle. And I love that, because a lot of people don't test their faiths or try to avoid tests of faith.
Yeah.
We look at them as bad things, and yet that's what really strengthens it and lets you know that it's there.
It's valid.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite Bible verse, if you have one?
Do you remember? It hasn't changed.
You wrote it down for me and everything.
Yeah.
I cannot remember that.
So,
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 through 15. I don't have all of it memorized, but the beginning part is, for everything there is a season and a time and place for everything on this earth. And then that's the verse that goes through a time for peace, a time for war, a time to kill, a time for life, a time for sowing, a time for reaping. It goes through all those. I don't know. It's just really fitting. I think Ecclesiastes itself really encapsulates life, real life, whereas not every book in the Bible necessarily always feels like it's getting at real issues.
Yeah.
Because that whole book is talking about how short everything is, how meaningless at times life feels, and the author comes up with an answer at the end for how to make life meaningful, but it's a really interesting take and philosophy. It's one of the most philosophical books of the Bible. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite verse, Troy?
I don't.
No?
I mean, we could also change his complete spectrum from religion to AI.
Yeah.
Some people, this is where I kind of was getting into it. So, I don't know, when the algorithm of TikTok's weird. When you start watching something, everything's so I saw one video about the rapture, and they're talking about the mark of the beast and how Elon Musk is the Antichrist because he's creating the chip in your head.
Oh, naturally, yes.
Yeah, so the whole mark of the beast, it was saying in the Bible, it's gonna be on your face, or which really means in your mind. People are dude, Elon Musk's chip is gonna be in your brain. I think the Antichrist has to be born out of Europe or Central.
Like I said, I haven't done much with Revelation.
It's a whole thing.
There's like a
not
whole.
born in, like the West.
You really went down a rabbit
hole. Yeah, literally. So like
it's easy to do with Revelations. It really is easy to go down rabbit holes.
Yes.
I could be seeing those things, like the falling angel voice memo thing on the TikTok too.
Yeah,
like
so
those ones. Yeah,
it's really interesting. Obviously, I don't like take everything like I'm not sitting here like, oh yeah, Elon Musk the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Like we gotta do something.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't get that wild, but like it's interesting like the similarities between like what is in it versus like what actually is going on. And so I just thought it was interesting. Like Elon Musk is like he's basically saying too like the AI is the devil. Like he thinks and like he knows it's like we're almost at that point where it's too late.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. So I guess what do you think about AI? Like, do you think of it as something to help us, or do you think it's something that's going to take over or completely get rid of us?
You ever see? I think you guys talked about this with Nusrat too in that episode. It really got me thinking for like 2 weeks after I watched it. But whatchamacallit? You ever see that movie iRobot with Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Yeah, I just rewatched it. I rewatched it because like I think you guys referenced it in that episode too.
I need to watch it again.
So good. I don't know. It's such an interesting concept because at what point does AI become a life of its own? And once it's a life of its own, or regardless, Genesis says we're to care for all of creation.
Yep.
So if you create this thing, then how do you care for it still? That being said, AI scares the bejesus out of me. It's like, it's crazy. Like my wife and I talk about it all the time. We'll have been talking about something with a coworker, with a family member, then we get home and like all of a sudden we're getting ads on our phone, like or like now I don't know if it's just because like the AI, the algorithm has me scheduled, but like last night I got a notification that I should order pizza, and like every Monday, like I almost always want to order pizza.
Wow.
I don't usually. We usually have it on Sundays, but so I don't know.
You know what that is? That's not even AI. Those are the nerds in California.
Yeah.
So I actually we had a office meeting at my real estate office with a team of like lenders and stuff. And there's this guy who was a part of the team who used to work for Google, and he'd do like the almost like the voice, like he helped program the voice recognition into ads. So like your phone knows what you're talking about, and like how to actually like geofence like that ad to you, right? It's like people think like, dude, it's listening to me. It is listening to you.
Right.
They like he helped program like.
Oh yeah, and
it's like that's crazy.
I have a Google Pixel, so like I know it's listening to me because I know it specifically because one of the features I like about Pixels is that it'll tell me what song is playing, and so then it always needs to be listening. I know it is because it needs to be listening to see what music is coming through, and then trying to figure out that song. But
so it's just crazy. Like there's people they created this whole thing that like it knows what you're talking about. Like even if you say it once and then you're like, dude, that's crazy. Like you probably like yes, it knows what you're like wanting to look at. And it also tracks like how much time like say you see an ad on Facebook and you're sitting on it too long. It knows and that's gonna show you ads just like that. And it's just crazy. Yeah. So yeah.
And the thing about like the AI art, and then like it was a big conversation this semester because now you can pay an AI bot to write your papers.
You pay, it's free.
Well, is it? I see. That's how little. That's how honest I am. But that was a big.
Literally was doing it for his homework the other night.
Yeah. It's so nice.
But see, like that's a big deal because like you're cheating. Then it's not your work then for the paper.
They need to redo schooling to make it like
right, and that was a big discussion among the faculty. And I don't know. It's just it creates it's a change. And I think any change can be both good and bad.
Yep.
I think it probably is going to be a reality. I don't think we're going to... I think it already is too late. I don't think we can back off now. I mean...
Too many people have access to it now.
Right.
You can't stop it.
I saw one thing where ChatGPT, the creator, like, they slowly like implement updates. And so ChatGPT 4 just released like 2 weeks ago. And like the amount... They put up like the amount difference of like the smartness of 3.5 to 4. Like 4 can like pass calculus exams.
Yeah.
Like, it can pretty much do all this like school like college level stuff like easily. Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like imagine like 5, 6, 7. Like when is it gonna like it's just gonna keep going up? Like,
it will.
Yeah.
Until the time that it becomes self-sufficient. And then we have like a billion sci-fi movies that talk about that very situation,
Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna have movies about what life was like before AI.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my kids like, yeah. I remember when these things weren't around.
I had to do all the schoolwork by myself.
I'd actually think.
I have a confirmation class right now, right? And like, so they're in 8th grade, and this is like. So this is common for most churches in America. Like I am closer in age to my confirmands in 8th grade than I am to the majority of my congregation. But anyways, we were talking. They're talking about Minecraft, and I looked at them, and like this is one of the few times I felt older than them, like significantly older. I was like, I remember when Minecraft came out. You know,
like, yo, whoa, you're old.
Dude, like I remember
played that shit before there was a hunger bar.
Exactly. Yeah.
Total Miner.
Oh my god, Total Miner.
It's on the 360. It was like before Minecraft actually went on the console. We only had Total Miner.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I did that one.
It was so fun though.
It was really good
Yeah.
for an off-brand Minecraft.
Dude, they had like guns and stuff in it.
It was all types of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The spiders were like stupid loud.
Yeah.
Like, scary.
You could go to hell.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like in Minecraft they'd actually teleport to the Nether.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nether. Yeah.
There you just gotta dig down enough and you'll get there.
Yeah.
I think the cat's messing with my dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The whole AI thing's very interesting.
It is.
For sure, there's gonna be a lot of positives that come out of it, but there's always gonna be negatives. Like
Right.
humans learn how to like turn things against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's gonna be a problem. Like
We have a track record of doing that as a race.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people trying to weaponize the AI against people, and that's when it's gonna get sketchy. I mean, have you seen those AI videos? I keep seeing now. It's like a new trend on TikTok. Is AI Kanye West singing country music, and it's literally it's perfect. It sounds like Kanye singing like classic country songs, like, and it doesn't sound like it sounds like Kanye legit was doing it, but it's just all AI.
The ones that like get me is like they give a like a writing prompt for a movie, and like to read, then the post will go through and like read the AI's written out screenplay.
Yep.
And like it sounds like it should be a really good, like it sounds like an Avengers movie or something like that. Yeah.
Dude, I should like get a comedy script together and go to like an open. There's a
and see if it works.
Bar down in Rockford. I should see if it works. Like I don't care if I get rejected. I'm gonna go do it.
Right.
I gotta show you something crazy. Were you ever into like old Cartoon Network like shows? Not even that old, but like Flapjack or the Cartoon Network just posted a. It's actually pretty cool. So they're gonna do like a collab between two different shows.
Yeah.
And it's all so they showed like the AI's episode. Let's see if I can find it. So these are gonna be the.
Oh nope.
Bacon pancakes.
Okay, so it's so one of these is gonna become an actual like they're gonna make it to like a big episode in 2025. So there's Flapjack time. So it's gonna be a combo, like a collab between Flapjack and Adventure Time.
Oh, kind of like the Jimmy Neutron Fairly Odd Parents thing back in the day.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Regular show and Courage the Cowardly Dog.
That was Courage the Cowardly Dog was pretty good.
I don't know how that's gonna work with a regular show.
Somehow they'll make it.
I don't remember
So
regular show.
ChatGPT wrote it, so they're gonna turn it into something. There's the Amazing World of Gumball mixed with Foster Some of Imaginary Friends. Then there's Ed and Eddie and Steven Universe. Oh, and Kids Next Door, and I don't know what the other show is.
Codename Kids Next Door. That was a good one.
The Grim Adventures of Scooby Doo.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
And then the Bears and Chowder. I don't know what We Bear Bears is and Chowder.
I don't know We Bear Bears. I know Chowder though.
Yeah, so like they're making like an older school one with a newer one.
Yeah.
So like the winner, they're doing a whole contest. So the winner is gonna get an actual like special in 2025.
Interesting.
I'm like, dude, that's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm excited now.
Yeah, I will 100% be tuning into whatever that ends up being.
I hope it's the Adventure Time one. I love
Adventure Time and Flapjack.
Yeah.
I love Flapjack too. That's one where I like both. I love. So.
Yeah.
Flapjack always creeped me out as a kid. But
It was supposed to.
Yeah. Just living in a whale's mouth.
Yeah.
That's just interesting about like AI. Even just ChatGPT can like, you can ask it things like that, like make me a show or make me a movie script.
Yeah.
And like with these elements, like made like in the way of this director would make it with this actor, and like it'll just put it together.
Yeah.
And it knows like too much. It's just crazy.
It knows too much.
And the more people use it, like the
smarter it gets.
yeah, the guy was saying like that's the whole point of it. It's basically like so everyone can input, and it's just gonna learn and learn and learn.
Yep.
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very crazy. Yeah.
I didn't think I have any other notes on.
Is there
anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I was thinking about one in particular, and feel free to say no. It just felt kind of prevalent. You made a post on your personal page the other. Well, two things I want to talk about. First off, have you done a shout out for Nwitty 7 yet? Your music?
You haven't really.
No, I'm not really present in that as much anymore.
You should. It was so good. Like that song about your grandpa. Oh man, I love listening. I think I added it to my main playlist and everything. Like it's really good, man. You should get back into it.
A little fact about that one is I didn't write any lyrics down when I was making that one. I literally just whatever I was thinking, I just went with it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. It really is. And the Ope. I showed Ope to.
Oh God, I'm not proud of that one.
It was who did I show that one to? I showed it. Was it my wife? I mean, she's not really into hip hop rap stuff, you know. So she wasn't as. She's country all the way.
That's me. I love country.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how in the country is she?
What was that?
How in the country is she?
Like, I usually listen to like hard rock.
Okay.
You know, in my car and everything. And if she gets in the car, she changes the station. So like, one of her like favorite memories was she got to meet Scotty McCready in person.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
She talks about that pretty regularly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He won American Idol.
Yeah.
Josh Turner, I don't know if you know who Josh Turner is. He's coming to Roscoe because Old Sellers Days every June, and he's gonna be playing it. I cannot wait.
I saw you post something about that.
Dude, Josh Turner is like
I made one country song, and the few people that like actually heard it and like saw me said that my voice sounded like Josh Turner in it.
Yeah. You got a deep enough voice for it. Yeah.
You get up on stage and sing your man with him.
yeah. I'm excited for that. I'm going to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what were we saying?
What was the other one?
Yeah, so the other one, right? You know, you made a post the other day on your personal page, and just talking about like how difficult, you know, that transition has been from the military to the civilian side, you know, and like I shared with you when we were first trying to set this up, you know, like I'm good now. Like let's be like I'm doing very well now. But those probably the first year and a half, honestly, getting out was one of the hardest years of my life. You know, it took a lot of therapy, a lot of work. Thank God for meeting my now wife. Took a lot of support from her, and like, I don't know if you guys want to talk about like that experience at all.
Yeah, I'm done.
That transition.
I don't have that.
I'm only on month 3 right now, and I'm going through it. So
yeah, that's why I want to make like feel free. Like you won't hurt my feelings if you say no.
No, it's more of a. I mean, I've reached out to certain buddies that like I trust. Like you said, like when you get out, like the buddies you trust, and it's like. I'm just fighting with this purpose kind of driven thing.
Right,
like when you're in the military, it's like I have to
every
show
day,
up.
right?
It's like it's also like that's what I wanted to do, and I think it didn't live up to my expectations. Mm-hmm. So now I'm out in the civilian world, like that's all I ever wanted to do,
right?
And now it's like now I'm kind of like losing my mind, like fuck, I'm trying to do all these different things,
right?
So
and so that was like my exact experience because like one of my first pictures of me is like in an army man suit for. 4-year-old Halloween or something like that was my biggest dream, right? I wanted to become a sergeant in the United States Army. That was my goal. And I got there, and like you, like it wasn't everything that I thought it was going to be. And to get out then and figure out, well, shit, what do I do now, you know? Like, it's just a weird, jarring thing that I don't think you're really prepped for on the way out.
The biggest thing that's helped, like, genuinely lifted me up last week because I had a therapy appointment with one of the social workers before I actually get to my therapist.
Yep.
And we were talking about regret, and I think that's one of the things, in my opinion, that haunts most of the military members is regret of like whether they didn't get to go to a certain school, they didn't get to deploy, whatever it may have been, regardless of like, you know, all the old vets that did deploy, was like you don't want to deploy, like all that stuff. But regret is the same emotion as anger, and I wasn't dealing with my regret the same way that I was taught in therapy to deal with my anger. So it was just spiraling out of control because it's like when you try to treat a mental illness wrong, like if you have anxiety and you're trying to treat depression, it's not going to work.
Right.
So I just felt myself getting into a loophole and digging deeper and deeper, trying to fix this problem with my tools I already had. So it's definitely people that are getting out of the service need to utilize the VA. You need, I think everybody at one point in their life needs therapy. I don't care who the fuck you are. You could be the happiest person in your life. I think therapy is good for everybody, and I think that's
a big call out to me.
No, dude, this man's I say this in like almost every episode, this man's unbothered by everything.
I don't know what it is, because people always are trying to test like how can I bother you. I'm like, dude, I just like don't look at things like I look at everything in the long term. It's like like, maybe right now I'm feeling a certain way, but I know at the end of the day, like it's all right. Like it doesn't matter. Like,
and that's one thing that blew my mind when I got it, is there's actually genuine people that do not have like mental health conditions.
That's it's like everybody in the army, like there's something.
I thought everybody was mentally ill.
I think part of that does come from the faith too, though. It's like I know God's got me. So
can't say my faith did that for me when I was.
So I don't have. Maybe if I went to the army, I'd probably have the same.
There were plenty of times where God felt very far away when doing some of the stuff we did.
Just some of the points in the military, you're just sitting there and you're like, "Fuck, dude, this sucks."
It's just. You remember? Oh man! So there's this one time. I think it was our second field exercise.
It started raining.
And like by the time I got to field chow, we got field chow out there. By the time I got to sit down with my food, we had a scoop of peas, and it was pea soup. That's how hard it was raining while we were eating.
Away.
Did it?
Yeah. No, it literally was raining so hard that when I went to go pick up the bread, it melted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still ate what I could though.
Yeah, you gotta, because like you're starved there.
No, that's the night I always tell people about, because that was when we stayed out there for one night.
Yep.
And we dug our little fucking holes, and I woke up in a puddle, and it was 30 degrees when we woke up.
Yeah. And like I never, I was trying not to like do anything wrong, because like I have such a impulse, like I don't like ever doing anything wrong.
I'm the same way.
And so like I never even pulled out my sleeping bag that night because the drill sergeant didn't say it was okay.
You packed it?
I packed it.
Dude, I didn't pack mine.
So yeah. No, there were a lot of cold nights.
We didn't get those sleeping mats or anything. Like,
no.
I literally just slept in the dirt and started all.
That's what I did. Yeah.
We were scared of Drill Sergeant Crush and Drill Sergeant Meller.
Yeah, and Drill Sergeant Hubler. Drill Sergeant Hubler. He scared me the most.
So when I actually worked over at 31st, I like.
Did he come over?
He's like, actually a decent dude.
Yeah.
He ended up marrying that really short.
I saw that. Yeah.
This is all basic.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as you're done with basic, is it just like, oh, like you guys are like best friends now, like the drill sergeants?
I mean, the drill sergeants? No,
they never.
No.
No, I mean they were cool with me when I went over and started working there, because like I'm actually in the Army now, but it's still like they outranked me, so they have to like not be buddy with me.
Right.
Like I can be cool with one outside of work. Like I went with one of my buddies and we babysit their dogs. So,
yeah.
Like, they're people. Like,
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if like maybe it's like a thing until you graduate. Like
they're nicer.
They're nicer.
They're nicer.
They're
like,
more of mentors than they are to like beat your face.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Is it like that movie? Or no?
Which one?
Jacket?
No.
I mean, that's so like exactly.
Well, maybe Marine Corps. I don't know.
Well, no, old times. That's like how it was. It was worse than that though.
Yeah.
Like they would literally beat privates.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
Call it wall-to-wall counseling.
Yeah.
At the halfway house, we had a drill sergeant that worked there for a bit, and he'd always like try to scare me. I'm like, it's different. I feel like it's just. I guess I get like the voice, and I like. Yeah.
I just remember the trash can. Like I wake up in the middle of the night some nights still just hearing the sound of the trash can banging.
Loud noises legitimately piss me off now because of that. Dude,
right.
3 a.m, you hear a metal trash can clanking across your like.
Because some random tile,
floor.
some random dude's asleep in the bathroom, and like he was supposed to be on guard shift, so now all of us are awake.
Do you remember it took us 3 months to wax and buff the fucking floors?
Yes. I was doing CQ one night. I think I was specialist promotable, or maybe I picked up my stripes. And whatchamacallit, we had this new E6 that had come into the regiment, or into the squadron rather, and I don't know. It was one of the weirdest nights of my life because like he came over and he was like, "Hey, Sergeant Major says that you need to, strip and wax the whole barracks floors in one night." We didn't have a buffer that worked. We didn't have like the stripper. We didn't have the wax, anything. So I call First Sergeant. First Sergeant comes over, literally calls Sergeant Major like while I am there. Sergeant Major says, "I never said that." And First Sergeant says, "Don't do it." E6 comes back then and is like, "Hey, why haven't you even started this yet? I got all this gear over there." And I was like, well, I talked to my first sergeant. It was just such a weird... We went back and forth, and finally at like midnight, I finally got like 2 guys from my team to start helping me. We got it done. I don't think any other barracks got it done. I think this guy just picked on me just to pick on me. And like, it was just such a weird random encounter,
I think a drill sergeant would be fun. I feel like that might be...
So it would have been fun, but... When I was over in the companies, like working alongside the drill sergeants, like playing Op 4 and stuff for them, like, dude, privates are in the Army too much now. Like, I literally saw one dude under investigation for tucking a private in, and it was some dumb shit, probably like, "Oh, you don't want to be in fucking bed? Okay, you get in bed. Everybody else get fucking push-ups," some stupid shit like that. So like drill sergeants get put under investigation for anything nowadays.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And like I know. So they were allowed to swear at us during our cycle, but when I moved over 31st, when
I saw they can't now.
But they can't swear?
Yeah, they're not supposed to swear at privates anymore.
What the heck?
I just saw that the other day.
Look at real. What the?
When I went through that BLC thing he was talking about, they were like, "We're not raising warfighters anymore. We're raising college students."
I remember that. Yeah, because they said that line to me too.
The whole point of the Army is supposed to be like the strong. Like you're supposed to be like.
I literally like.
Now it's like no.
I get desk jobs, whatever. If they want to do their own fucking thing, but like combat jobs, no,
it's different.
You gotta
beat the shit out of me. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
I always tell people I work better under pressure now because for 4 years, my kennel master, anytime I trained with him, he was always down my ass, and like there was just some chaos going on around me, and
every
like
time.
I was able to concentrate better in a chaotic situation because of that shit.
You kind of referenced that in your post, and I resonate with that so much. Like, there's times like this week, right? Really chaotic at the church. Like, I've got 4 different services I'm working on, which means that I have like 60 different people that I'm trying to work with just to like get logistics figured out. Then I got all these other things going on, the regular parts of the job that need to happen, plus seminary stuff still it's an off week, but I apparently have an assignment due tonight that I forgot about, so that's what I'm doing after this. And like this week, like feels very purposeful because there's so much chaos, right? Because there's so much unknown. And like that was just life for 3 years, and like it felt normal. And now that was one of the hardest things for me is I got out. And, like, I had savings built up, so, like, for, like, 2-3 months, and I had the GI Bill coming in. I didn't have a job. Like, all I was doing was waiting for seminary to start. And, like, just to sit – I thought I would love it, right? Because I thought that's what I wanted was to, like, just sit around, play video games. It sounded like the life. But, like, there was one day I built a little picnic bench for my little brothers. And I finished staining it and everything. I just sat there and watched the clouds for, like, 3 hours. And I was like – what am I doing now? Like,
no, dude, I'm literally on like a week in between jobs right now, and like I'm on day 2, and I'm like, I'm bored. I want to go back to work. Like,
right? Yeah.
So we're filming like a whole podcast this week. He said I'm off. We got football.
Yeah. I think we got somebody tomorrow and then Tanner on Thursday.
Yeah.
So,
every day.
Yeah, that chaos is real, and like I don't know, you get so close to the people that you go through it with, right? Like for me, like I don't know about Whitaker, but like. It doesn't matter. It's been 6 years. Like, I know that if this man called me up and said, hey, I need your help with something, like, I have no problem making that drive. Like, and it doesn't matter to me if it's, 3 hours, if it's making a flight. Like, that's people with basic. Now I think about the people I served 3 years with, too. Like, it's that closeness. And then it's so isolating to get out and you're not with those people anymore. You're not in that chaos anymore. You don't have that close connection anymore. That was the hardest thing for me, was being cut off from the people that I really
and the problem when you
loved,
get back home
really.
Too, is like people are like, oh, you got your family, but it's like
it's different.
I've been gone for 6 years. They've been living their life without me. So now it's like when I show up, it's cool, but I feel like they could do everything without me. So it's like kind of like you don't belong back home kind of deal thing.
And it's hard to articulate that to them. Like you don't want to tell them that, right? Mm-hmm. Really hard to like say that to them because like. I think I tried to one night, and, like, I just didn't come across correctly or something, because, like, they kept on trying to explain, well, no, like, we do want you here and this and that, and, like, I know they do, but it's just...
there's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah. Like, we're very different. I mean, I at least, I'm assuming you are too, are very different people than when we left, I'm
more confident, that's about it.
That's it? Yeah. A lot of me changed, like, because I just had those experiences that changed me, but I don't know. It's weird. But
yeah, it's hard for me to imagine like how that is.
Hey, bro, I know a recruiter.
Me too. The one hit me up on Facebook.
I love that. Like, I still get messages from recruiters. Like they'll ask me because like if they get somebody to go into the reserves, like it helps with their numbers still. I think. Like, I still get messages every now and then. Like, hey, have you ever thought about coming back? And like, have I thought about it? Sure, but like, am I going to? No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, man, therapy really helped me too. I've been seeing the same therapist for about 2 years now, and I just had therapy on Monday. Is that yesterday? What day is today?
Yeah,
Tuesday?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a 3-hour-long appointment in Madison next week or the week after for the trauma therapy stuff. So, yeah, that's gonna be a rough one.
Yeah, it brings up a lot. It does.
Well, yeah, they said I have to take a break halfway in between because of some of the tests they have to like ask me. So
yep.
Now I feel like I should go to therapy since you said something. I'm just curious what they just bring out of me.
Therapy, in my like genuine opinion, like if you are happy, you can be even happier. Like,
right.
I think, and I think
there's skills you can build too. Yeah.
Yeah, like the social work I'm with, since like that's not my actual therapist, they've just been working on like tactics or like breathing exercises or stuff like that, and it's just like. It's like, oh, even if I wasn't in a good mood, like I can still do this, and I think it might enhance my good mood. So.
Exactly. Yeah, those grounding techniques are really good.
I should get a therapist on here.
Yeah.
There's a few at...
My sister's a therapist.
Really? Yeah. There's a few at the halfway house.
Yeah.
I'm always scared to talk to therapists. I'm like, I feel like you're doing something to me. I like just trying to have a conversation with you.
No, I would love
to
have a therapist down here.
I always feel like they're trying to read me. I'm like, I don't like that.
See, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of people feel that about like me too, right? Because like, I'm by no means am I a trained licensed therapist, but like pastoral care is a big part of the job.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Most of the times I'm just trying to have a normal conversation with somebody, and then somehow it become pastoral care. You know.
Yeah.
Usually not because I'm trying to, but like maybe they'll bring something up because they want to talk about it. So I don't think most therapists are trying to, because like otherwise you're just working all the time, you know.
Yeah,
like you got to turn it off somehow.
I think I try to read people more than the therapist do.
Probably, yeah.
I like to figure out who the fuck I'm talking to.
Right,
Talk
right.
to somebody.
Yeah, that general like I have that a lot. Where like I think it changed for me in the military because I think you just need to like figure out real quick who you're working with, but like that general discomfort with meeting a new person now is still up there for me. Like that my anxiety is a lot better now, but meeting new people, Troy.
Yeah. So I didn't get anything.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of. I think everyone like It's funny. It's like I kind of feel that too. Like I get really anxiety when I'm meeting new people, but like I think I've learned to like. You learn to like. It's really not that like crazy. Like
once you get there,
everyone's human. Like
yeah.
No facts.
Yeah.
See, I think it's for me like when those power differentials are there, because like there's a very clear hierarchy in the Army, and so like I'm always still trying to figure out those power differentials, even though they're not nearly as important. I've noticed especially in the ministry on the civilian side.
Yeah.
Like one time I had so like the way that my denomination is broken down, there's the Wisconsin Conference, and then we break down into different associations. So the Northeast Association, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest. One time I had a question, and my a friend of mine said, "Hey, why don't you just email the conference minister?" I was like, "I can skip over the associate conference minister?" And like that was a real like concern for me. And like I waited 2 days until I got an email reply saying it was okay to just reach out. It's like that didn't fly in the Army.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta go executive.
Right. Yeah. So that chain of command thing is still like a big thing I work through.
Oh, dude, literally when I got my internship and I was at work, they told me just work an 8-hour day and go home.
Yeah.
I was sitting there at my 8-hour mark, like looking around, and like I waited 30 minutes for somebody to release me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of my managers was like, "What are you still doing here?" And I was like, "I thought one of you guys were going to tell me when to go home."
Right. Right.
Yeah. It is weird going to a job like that too. Like when at the car sales, like you don't ask to get leave. Like you just leave.
Yeah.
And say goodbye to everyone. But
it's been really weird because like I'm kind of in charge, right? Like at my church, like I manage my own schedule. It's really weird now. Like,
oh, dude, that's gonna be the biggest thing for me is because this salesman job I have.
Yeah.
I make my own hours as long as I make my 40 and like I make my commission for the month. I'm
good.
Like it doesn't matter.
It's the life of sales.
Dude, yeah, that's lush.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Are you gonna start door knocking and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's posted the folders and all that.
Basically, oh, you're talking about for Medis.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna do it for the other one?
Yeah, I have to. So they give me like a turf, and then I have to go sell there.
Oh, so you have like a region? Is it like a big?
I don't know, but I know they're opening up in Janesville here soon, so I'm gonna be getting a lot of business.
Where's that at?
Right now it's in Middleton.
Well, what's the company?
Telecom. It's Comcast, yeah.
Oh, so Comcast is coming to Janesville?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, time. We've been asking for that forever. We've been stuck with just Spectrum.
Yeah,
bro. It's such a monopoly. Like, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you like this shitty service, and you're gonna overpay for it.
Hey, as soon as it comes to Janesville, I got you.
Yeah.
See, like Spectrum up north, it's like the best one up there.
Really?
Like in Shawano, I wouldn't go with anybody else.
What else do you have?
I don't know.
You look like, wait, I don't have any.
Frontier. I know they have Frontier, but I refuse to go through Frontier. You know,
I've never heard of Frontier.
Yeah, I mean,
they have a F with the Better Business Bureau. That's how well they do. But I don't know. The one that I will never ever go back to is Boingo.
Oh
did you have that one?
I've never had Boingo.
I had it for all of 2 days, and then I got Cable America.
That we only had Boingo as an option in the barracks. In Fort Irwin, and that was like our biggest soldiers' complaints
Boingo
every
is
time.
Like a shared Wi-Fi on the base.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so like
just
bandwidth
different.
is nothing.
Yeah.
Without people.
I tried to play Warzone on it, and I lagged out within the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
And downloading, literally for an update
took
for
days.
Warzone was days.
Days.
You would start your Xbox, and you'd be like, well, I'll guess I'll play this in a few days.
Yep.
See you next week.
Set your phone, play Candy Crush while you wait.
Yeah. But don't be on the fucking Boingo Wi-Fi while
No.
you're doing that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So we're finally getting Comcast. That's awesome. Because I think we also have AT&T, but like it's not even as good as
AT&T's
Charter.
not
Charter
great.
is like
Yeah.
it's whatever. But
Yeah.
Comcast is great.
I'm about to have 3 commissions as soon as I start. Then I'm about to have you, Tyler Knight, and my sister.
Everyone's gonna want Comcast. I know a lot of people. You probably ask a lot
Bro,
of people.
I'm about to be making bank.
Yeah, we better start hitting all the neighborhoods.
Bro, I'm about to
No
go.
one know, even though like the people that know about Comcast are I figure gamers because they have because Comcast is known for like their
fiber optics.
Mm.
Yeah, so
all gamers know Comcast.
the thing they explained to me is like Spectrum, like you have one fiber optic for a neighborhood, whereas Telecom, literally the fiber optic goes to
into
your
the house. Yeah.
It's way better.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spectrum definitely is monopolizing with that stuff.
Dude,
so.
they're gonna have to make a switch. They're probably sweating right now.
Yeah, dude.
They're probably gonna offer the same service now. Watch, they're gonna
Comcast
discount.
is coming.
Yeah, they're gonna discount.
They were
everything.
telling me they're like, we offer packages up to 8 gigabytes, and the dude that was doing it, he's like, I've only sold one of those, and I think it was to a business.
Yeah.
But like, it's not even like ridiculous. I think it's like 300 for 8 gigabytes. Which in
That's not bad.
retrospect, that's not bad.
Right.
For a
Right.
business,
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I think we're paying like 100 something for a gig. So
Yeah, it's like 120 for a gig.
Mm.
That's what I was paying.
But yeah, I did the intro.
All right, well, that has been the Dairyland Duo podcast. I think this is episode 9 now.
Something up in.
I think we're at 9. We're getting close to 10.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. But thank you to our guest.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to shout out anything?
Yeah, if you're ever interested, my church has been working really hard on upgrading our online capabilities. We do have a Facebook page and a YouTube page at PCUCC Shawno. Should be both of them. It's like a purple and blue dove symbol. It's really kind of cool.
I'll have you text me the link.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in.
Yeah. So
But thank you.
watch the
Uriah.
sermon from 2 weeks ago. Would have been the last one in March. That's a good one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, check out the sermons. I'm about to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.